What's up, YouTube? It's your main man, AV the Hero, back again with another video. And the NBA playoffs is upon us. So we're going to go through here to make our predictions. We also got a little group that y'all could jump into, make your predictions, and let's see who win this thing. Maybe we'll do some kind of pool or a prize at the end. Who knows? So now as we get this jumped off, I want to say that I will admit that I have not watched much NBA this year. Now I've followed some of my teams, you know what I'm saying, the Warriors, my dog Boogie, I've been riding with you. The Lakers, obviously, that's been in the rotation. Pacers right around the corner. So I've been following them, but my dog Oladipo is out. You know what I'm saying, LeBron was out half the season, Lonzo was out half the season. Your boy Giannis is doing some things that are immaculate. James Harden still on his move. And Russell Westbrook is the most underrated player in the NBA to me. But I say all that to say this. When I pick these brackets, I'm the type of dude who I pick based off heart. You feel me? That is how I didn't get to do it in time. But if you would have seen my NCAA bracket, it had Virginia and Texas Tech in the finals. And I had picked Virginia to win it all. And that just comes from picking with the heart. So let's get into this. First round, Western Conference here. We're going to go ahead and get the Warriors. All right. Bam. Warriors, number of games. I'm going to go ahead and call it a 4-0 sweep, just because I know my dog Boogie is going to be hella motivated to get this ring and do work. Rockets here, I'm going to go ahead here. James Harden, Chris Paul, ready to redeem themselves for an early exit last year. I feel like they're going to be highly motivated to get this over with. I don't think it's going to be a sweep, though. I'm going to call it a 4-1. Now, this is going to be a tough series because one of the things that my heart always tell me about is the motivations that these dudes come into these games with. We talk about Russell Westbrook, Paul George, very early exit last year in the playoffs. Your boy Russell Westbrook has been on the tear, but Paul George has been a potential MVP candidate the entire season. So I'm going with OKC for my first upset of the playoffs here. I'm going to call it a close series, though. I'm going to say it's a 4-2. I respect Dame Lillard and those guys, but I just feel like OKC is going to bring it. All right, so here, now, even though Denver has been playing some great basketball and the number 2 seed in the West, which the West is a extremely tough conference, you also got Greg Popovich on the other side, who is Mr. Playoffs, knows what he's doing. So out of respect to Denver, I'm still going to pick them here, all right? But I'm calling it a 7-game series, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was an upset. Now we go to the Eastern Conference over here. Milwaukee, I'm calling that there. We're going to go ahead and give it a sweep. And it's also interesting, man, I heard one stat that was saying, like, Milwaukee has beaten more teams by, like, 20-plus points than, like, damn near anybody ever. And the teams who have some, like innocuous stat that they have, but basically the team who has done what Milwaukee has done as far as beating people by 20-plus points have always went on to win the NBA championship. That'll be interesting to see. One of the things that's obvious between with these playoffs this year is the Western Conference is even more stacked with LeBron James out of it. Like, there's not a team who I can sit here and say in the East is the favorite. Whereas in the West, and I can't say that because they all seem like to be middle-of-the-road teams, even the ones that are super good. On the West, it's hard to pick a favorite. Well, obviously Golden State is a favorite, but it's hard to pick a favorite because they seem like they all got a good game, and just depends on who shows up. Here, now here's what I'm talking about. The Pacers have been playing great basketball despite not having Victor Oladipo. They've played they've acquired a very deep team. And what is dope about the Pacers is, to me, it shows you what good coaching is, right? So a lot of times these dudes be like, man, you know, you got this all-star player, of course you're going to be good. But when you got a bunch of guys playing for these Pacers right now who probably couldn't even name their starting lineup, and they're still the 5th seed in the East. Making it to the playoffs says a lot about their organization and their coaches. But the Boston Celtics, though, this is going to be a tough one here because your boy Brad Stevens, Gordon Hayward, Indianapolis ties. So everybody going to show up to watch those games. But I'm picking Boston Celtics to get it done in a tough series 4-2. Philadelphia 76ers, Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to go ahead and call 76ers here. But it could be a close series depending on Joel Embiid and how healthy he can stay. Brooklyn Nets, a sleeper team, though, this year. Playing good basketball. Your boy D'Lo went from snitch to hero. I'm going to call us here a 4-0 sweep. Now I'm going to give it a 4-1 because I feel like one of these games. Nah, actually, I'm going to call it a sweep. Toronto versus the Orlando Magic. Boy, Kawhi not playing. It's a 4-0 sweep out here. I'm excited for the Magic, though, climbing back into the playoff picture. That's a big, that's a good look for them. All right, so now we move into the second round. Now, this is going to be a close series, so I'm going to save that one for last because I still need to think on it a little bit. OKC versus Denver. I'm riding with OKC, man. I'm hoping that they're a playoff team. I think that they're going to have a long road throughout the playoffs, though, and I'm going to call this one here a 4-3 series, 7-game series. Boston Celtics, Milwaukee. Now, this here for both of these teams is not what they wanted to see. Milwaukee, the number 1 seed, would have loved to have Boston in the other bracket. Boston, a number 4 seed, would have loved to have been a 6 seed to be in the other bracket. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe jump up and get that 3 seed to not be in this position to have to play Milwaukee in the second round. This is going to be a tough one. I feel like this is going to be a moment where Giannis Antetokounmpo either proves that he is the dude or like is going to have his KD moment where you should have won something, you should have went there and it didn't happen, so then you made a move. I feel like this is Giannis's moment to prove that he is the dude. So I'm going to pick them 7-game series. 76ers, Toronto Raptors. Toronto has been one of those teams who play great ball, but they have always hit their head on the door of LeBron James. Philadelphia 76ers, an amazing young core, plus a Jimmy Butler, plus a Tobias Harris, playing great basketball right now, starting to get in stride. I want to say that this would be the year for Toronto to finally run through the finish line without a LeBron James blocking them. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think Ben Simmons and them boys going to show up and play ball. I will say 7-game series, though. As you see, I got these playoffs right now tight matchups here. Now, going back here, this is a tough one for me because I wish your boy James Harden could get the job done. And I wish he could get through these Warriors. But I want my dog Boogie Cousins to get this ring. So I'm going to will this thing to happen. And I'm going to say the Warriors are going to get it done. And I think that this series won't be as close as many people expect it to be. I'm going to call it a 4-2. Now, going in here, finals, Western Conference Finals, OKC versus Golden State. I'm going to go ahead and tell you I'm picking Golden State here. In a game in the series where Russell Westbrook is going to get some vindication, he's going to show up, he's going to play some good ball. Paul George is going to show why he's a top 5 player in this league, top 10, top 5. Russell Westbrook is going to show why he is one of the elite players in this league. Like I said, I feel like he's super underrated, does not get enough respect, but I think that they're going to make it a series, but Warriors are going to win it anyway. I'm calling it a 4-2. Now, as we've seen, the Warriors in past have just ran through the playoffs. I think that the Western Conference is much more stacked this year, so we won't see them just run a 16-0 playoff stretch anymore. But I think that they will have a fairly easy road, and I'm willing that for my dog Boogie Cousins. All right, so now here we go. Eastern Conference, 76ers, Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this is compelling because this is going to show us who is going to be the star of tomorrow. Giannis, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler. I'm trying to think of the cold point guard that the Milwaukee Bucks have, and I cannot think of his name right now. But they acquired him in the trade, so they've got a decent core, and I think that they'll be able to do it. Number one seed, I'm going to say, though, 76ers make it to the NBA Finals this year. Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to play some great ball, but I feel like he just ain't been in the fire enough. And if he does do it, more props to him. I think that he is showing that he's an elite superstar and maybe a top 3 player in this league if he can get to the NBA Finals this year. I just don't think he'll be able to do that. 76ers versus the Warriors. I think the Warriors run the 76ers out of the building, 4-1. Uh-oh, we got an ad here. Get out my screen. And let's see. Let's get the tiebreaker. What will the point margin be? First game of the NBA Finals. I'm going to call it a blowout, 20 points. All right. And there it is. This is my bracket here. I wish, is there a save button? I think it just... All right, let's see. All right, well, soon. Hit enter. All right, that's my bracket here. Now, like I said, if you want to submit your bracket here, you can. Go to, I'm going to have the link in the description for this bracket. You can sign up. If you search, you should be able to catch on. The bracket the group is AB the Hero. It's a public group. Let's see, you should be able to search right here. Let's do it. Bam, bam, bam. One group in here, bam, that's the group. You click it, join, all of that good stuff. Jump in there. It's only not too much time for you to get in the group here, but you know what I'm saying? Jump in there with your boy and let's do this thing. All right, if you want to enter in the group, get your picks up as well. The link will be in the description. It's your main man, AB the Hero. I'm out. Peace.